Welcome back to Dungeons and Deep Dives. This is the series where we don't just skim the surface, we go full scholar mode. Today we're diving into a class that doesn't just bend the elements, it merges with echoes of ancients to become them. This is the Arcanist, Fabula Ultima's answer to the question, what if summoning magic wasn't a side gig, but your entire soul? We'll break down how the class works, how to build it, and how to absolutely style on your enemies with astral flair. So grab your spell focus, open the veil, and step into the echo. This is the Arcanist. First off, like every class, Arcanist gives you a free benefit just for taking it. The free benefit here is permanently increase your maximum mind points or MP by 5. That MP boost is subtle, but it really matters, because summoning an Arcanum costs a big chunk of your MP. That means your ability to engage with your core mechanic is tied directly to how much MP you have. And before we get into skills, let's talk about how the core mechanic that defines the Arcanist works. When you summon an Arcanum, you merge with it. While merged, you gain passive benefits based on the Arcanum. When you dismiss it willingly on your turn, you trigger a dismiss effect, usually a potent AoE or utility burst of some kind. You can only have one Arcanum merged at a time, and if you're knocked out, the Arcanum vanishes with no dismiss effect triggering. Here's a pro tip though. Smart Arcanists will use their turn economy wisely. Summon for a burst, hold for your passives, and dismiss when the time is right. This rhythm, summon, benefit, dismiss, is the heartbeat of this class. The rest of your skills build around maximizing that flow. Now that you understand what Arcana do, let's dig into how you use them. Bind and summon. This is the core of the Arcanist. You can't do anything Arcanum related without this skill. For bind and summon, it allows you to bind Arcana and summon them later. Summoning costs 40 MP and an action. And at character creation, you get one bound Arcanum of your choice. Any additional Arcana you get must be earned through story progression, so make sure that you're talking with your game master about that. You must take this to be an Arcanist in practice. The cost of 40 MP is steep, especially at low levels, and that is intentional. This class is built around bursty moments of power, not constant uptime. You have to pick your moment. Arcane regeneration adds a little sustain to your summoning. When you summon an Arcanum, recover skill level times 5, hit points, or HP. This is deceptively strong. If you're injured and want to fight back in style, you can pop your Arcanum and patch yourself up mid-conflict. At a max of skill level 2, that's 10 hit points. Not bad for a class that usually stands back. It's also a great pairing with Emergency Arcanum that we're going to get into in just a moment. Emergency Arcanum. This one's a lifesaver, literally. When you're in crisis, reduce the cost to summon your Arcanum by skill level times 5 MP. Crisis means you're at half health or lower, exactly when you need your soul giant buddy to come out swinging. At skill level 2, summon for 30 MP instead of 40. And at a max of skill level 6, that's 10 MP. That's brutal comeback energy. Arcane Circle. For those who want to flex their combo potential, when you willingly dismiss your Arcanum on your turn and didn't summon it that same turn, and if you have an arcane weapon equipped that includes tomes and staves, you may cast a spell for free. The spell's MP cost must be less than or equal to skill level times 5. You still pay the MP cost, but the casting is free, action-wise. It's like a little bonus turn. Dismiss your Arcanum, trigger its effect, and follow up with the spell. You have to plan for it, but it feels amazing when you get it to work. Ritual Arcanism. Lets you perform rituals tied to the domains of Arcana you've bound. Your magic check will use willpower plus willpower. This is your flavor and utility skill. It is world-building gold. Talk to spirits, create zones of power, bend the environment, highly narrative, super evocative. Now that we've covered the mechanics of summoning, merging, and dismissing Arcana, let's get into the soul of the Arcanist, your Arcana themselves. These are more than summons. They're echoes of legendary beings, each offering unique flavor, power, and tactics. Arcanum of the Forge, domains of fire, heat, and metal. For its merge effect, you gain resistance to fire damage, and all fire damage you deal ignores resistance. For its dismiss effect, you gain 2 different effects. You can either choose Forge to create a basic armor, shield, or weapon, and also weapons created by this method deal fire damage. And for the second dismiss effect, we have Inferno. Choose any number of visible creatures. They each take 30 fire damage, ignoring resistance. This is raw, destructive power with a twist of utility. Whether you're melting armor with Inferno or arming yourself mid-battle with Fire-Forged Steel, the Forge is about transformation through flame. Think of it as both the anvil and the blaze. It burns, but it builds too. Arcanum of the Frost, with domains of cold, ice, and silence. For its merge effect, you gain resistance to ice damage, and you are immune to the Enraged status effect. And all ice damage you deal during your merging ignores resistance. For its dismiss effect, you gain Ice Age. Choose any number of visible creatures, each takes 30 ice damage, ignoring resistances. Cold isn't just damage, it's control. Frost silences, subdues, and stills. This Arcanum is perfect for characters who want to shut down aggression, literally and metaphorically. In Ice Age, it's the moment the battlefield freezes mid-breath. Arcanum of the Gate, with domains of space, travel, and the void. For its merge effect, you gain resistance to dark damage, and gain a +1 to your magic defense. For its dismiss effect, you have 2 different options. The first, Oblivion. Deal 30 dark damage to any number of visible creatures, ignoring resistances. For its second dismiss effect, you could choose Warp. Instantly teleport yourself and 5 allies to a location you visited within 1 travel day. The gate is as strategic as it is ominous. You can obliterate enemies, or just disappear with your whole party in a flash of void light. It's the closest thing Fabula Ultima has to a panic button that doubles as a black hole. Arcanum of the Grimoire, with domains of knowledge, revelations, and understanding. For its merge effect, you understand, speak, and read all languages, and your insight increases by 1 die size, up to 1d12. For its dismiss effect, you gain Oracle. You may ask the GM a question. The answer provided must be truthful and through a vision. This can be used once per day, and questions cannot be repeated. The Grimoire is the most narrative Arcanum. It's not about numbers, it's about truth. Perfect for investigators, seers, or schemers. This is divine Google, if Google could also show you the future and never repeated itself. Looking at you, AI. Arcanum of the Oak, with domains of earth, plants, and poison. You gain resistance to earth and poison damage while merged. And lastly, gain +5 HP whenever you heal from any source. For its dismiss effect, you gain Blossom. Choose any number of visible creatures. They heal for 40 HP and recover from the poison status effect. This healing increases to 50 HP at level 20 and 60 HP at level 40. This is your classic support Arcanum, but rooted, see what I did there, steady and natural. Oak is for the ones who stand tall when others fall. Bars. Blossom isn't just healing, it's rejuvenation, renewal, and a second wind in the darkest moments. Arcanum of the Sky, with domains of fog, rain, and storms. You gain resistance to air and bolt damage while merged. You can also predict the weather for the next day up to 2 travel days away as an action. Its dismiss effect is Thunderstorm. Choose any number of visible creatures, each suffers 30 bolt damage, ignoring resistance. Sky is about foresight and fury. The ability to forecast gives explorers and tacticians a huge edge. In Thunderstorm, that's the sound of judgment rolling in with the clouds. A great pick for Stormcallers and Tempest avatars. Arcanum of the Sword. With domains of conquest, heroism, and leadership. Your attacks deal +5 extra damage while merged. This damage is typeless, meaning that it ignores all affinities. This one is interesting because it doesn't have a dismiss effect. Instead, you can give your attack the multi-tag for any number of targets. Doing so automatically dismisses this Arcanum, but this does not count as a willing dismiss. Sword is pressure. It's the war god's favorite tool. Direct, relentless, and unrelenting. A typeless damage cuts through everything, and when you multi, you're trading staying power for a massive moment of glory. Use it well, alright? Arcanum of the Tower, with domains of judgment, protection, and sacrifice. When summoned, choose air, bolt, dark, earth, fire, or ice. All allies, except you, gain resistance to that damage type. Its dismiss effect is judgment. Choose any number of visible creatures, each takes 30 light damage, ignoring resistances. Tower is the Bastion Arcanum. You don't gain the resistance, you give it. This is the selfless protector, the silent sentinel. And when you finally judge your enemies, it's divine wrath, pure and searing. Arcanum of the Wheel, with domains of destiny, speed, and time. While merged, you are immune to the slow status effect. You also gain +1 to your defense. And for its dismiss effect, you gain time freeze. Choose any number of visible creatures, each becomes slow. If already slowed, they lose 1 action next turn, to a minimum of 0 actions. The wheel is all about tempo, yours versus theirs. Great for controlling turn economy and denying big boss mechanics. This is a battlefield conductor's dream, turning enemy momentum into molasses. And that's your tour through the Arcana. Each one tells a story, not just of mechanics, but of myth, role, and cosmic presence. So the real question isn't just what powers do you want, it's what truth do you want to embody? And for our last section, we're going to talk about heroic skills. Heroic skills are powerful rewards for characters who have truly mastered a class, or by reaching level 10 in it. They're rare, potent abilities with impactful mechanical and narrative consequences. Most can be taken only once, and some grow with character level. A few require specific class masteries in combination to take them. This is the capstone system for Fabula Ultima. Heroic skills feel like a hybrid between prestige class perks and high-level boons, offering a beautiful way to push customization while still reinforcing character identity. Importantly, they allow for late-game power without needing to overly multi-class or prestige. And I love how they reinforce mastery of themes. The first heroic skill for Arcanist is Arcane Echoes. Whenever you use a check to fill or erase sections of a clock, and that check falls under one of the domains of your bound Arcanum, you get to fill or erase 1 extra section. This is a brilliant reward for narrative-minded players who are always looking for clever ways to apply their Arcana. It reinforces thoughtful binding choices, encourages collaborations with the GM on thematic fit, and gives Arcanists meaningful contributions to both story momentum and tension-building mechanics. Super clean, flavorful, and useful in any type of scene, not just combat. The next heroic skill we're going to talk about is Revelation. You create a unique Arcanum that only your character can bind. Once per scene, while merged with any Arcanum, You can spend 2 Fabula points to activate its dismiss effect without actually dismissing it. This is Chef's Kiss. Not only does this grant strong utility, most dismiss effects are flashy, cinematic, or powerful, but the narrative flourish here is unmatched. You're writing your own myth, making it a permanent mark on the world. That's the kind of prestige that heroic skills should grant. It rewards players who are deeply invested in lore and the personalization of the world and character. Also, the tactical value of using a dismiss effect without breaking the merge is significant, especially when paired with effects that normally ask for sacrifice. And now we're going to get into some of the Atlas extra content. I'm not going to get into all of it because some of it is odd and some of it also requires other classes that I haven't talked about yet. And I don't want to reference anything that I haven't referenced in this video specifically, because dear God, it's getting long enough. Grand Summoning. This one comes from the High Fantasy Atlas. This lets you truly summon your Arcanum into the world as a fully independent, controllable creature. You spend a Fabula point and half your HP to create a soldier-ranked demon under your command, which embodies the full power of your Arcanum. This is a late-game climax skill because you can only take it at 30 plus in character level. So level 30 or higher is the only time you can have this. And it feels like the ultimate expression of the Arcanist class. You're no longer just merging with mystic forces, you're manifesting them as divine avatars. The sheer number of customization points here are insane. The attributes, the damage type, resistances, attacks means you can tailor each summon to reflect your character's arc. It also introduces a whole new axis of resource management with HP and MP acting as cost for keeping your summons on the field. It's perfect for epic boss fights or pivotal story moments. Massive JRPG final summon energy. And that's a wrap on the Arcanist, a class steeped in mystery, power, and the echoes of forgotten gods. Whether you're weaving fate with arcane echoes, forging new myths through revelation, or summoning full-on celestial avatars with your grand summoning, the Arcanist offers some of the most transformative storytelling tools in Fabula Ultima. If you've enjoyed this deep dive, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell so you don't miss future breakdowns as we explore more classes, more mechanics, and more homebrew content inspired by Fabula Ultima's rich anime-style storytelling. Want early access to my Fabula Ultima homebrew and behind-the-scenes videos? Come join us on Patreon. Your support helps me create even more expansive content, and you'll get exclusive looks at custom classes, Arcanum ideas, and narrative tools before anyone else. If you'd like to grab the Fabula Ultima books for yourself, you can use my DriveThruRPG affiliate links in the description below. It's a great way to support the channel and the makers of this amazing game. Thanks for watching, and remember, the story isn't written in stone. It's waiting for you to cast the first spell. I'm the Neosoulgod, and this has been Fabula Ultima Dungeons & Deep Dives. I'll see you soon.